Good morning everyone. I am a mathematics teacher. My name is Hriday. Today we will start a new topic. So before starting our today's topic, let's discuss what we have learned in the previous class. So before that, I would like to share a screen with you. Well, in the previous class, we have studied natural numbers, whole numbers and integers. So now, what is natural numbers? Okay, so numbers that are used for counting objects are called natural numbers. For example, while counting objects, we say 6 books, 1 pen, 18 balls, 100 rupees, etc. So we can say that the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 up to infinity are natural numbers. Or in other words, we can say that number which starts from 1 and ends up to infinity without having fractions or decimals are called natural numbers. So now next is, what is whole numbers? Whole numbers are all natural numbers including 0. For example, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 like this up to infinity are whole numbers. Or in other words, we can say that number which starts from 0 and ends up to infinity without having fractions or decimals are called whole numbers. Okay, so now next is integer. So what is integer? Integers are the numbers which can be positive, negative or 0 but cannot be a fraction or decimal. For example, numbers like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 up to positive infinity to -1, -2, -3, -4, -5 up to negative infinity. So these are the integers. Now numbers which can be positive, negative or 0 without having fractions or decimals are called integers. So up to here we have discussed in the previous class. Now let's go to our today's topic. The topic which I am going to discuss today is rational numbers, irrational numbers and real numbers. So now, what is rational numbers? Numbers which can be written in the form of p by q, where p and q are integers and q not equal to 0 are called rational numbers. For example, 1 by 2, -7 by 3, 8, 0, 0.3, 1.25. These are the examples of rational numbers. Why these numbers are the examples of rational numbers? Because here 1 by 2 is in the form of p by q. In the same way, -7 by 3 is also in the form of p by q, where p is -7 and q is 3. Now how this 8 is a rational number? This is not in the form of p by q, so we can write 8 as 8 by 1. Now this is in the form of p by q, where p is equal to 8 and q is equal to 1. Now this is in the form of p by q. In the same way we can write 0 as 0 by 1. Now it will be in the form of p by q. Now next is 0.3. So how to convert these decimal numbers into fractional form? Or your question may be, how 0.3 is a rational number? 0.3 is not in the form of p by q. We can convert these decimal numbers into fractional numbers like 3 by 10. We can write these decimal numbers into fractional form like this. No, in the junior class we have learned how to convert decimal numbers into fractional numbers. So now this is in the form of p by q. In the same way we can convert 1.25 as 125 by 100. Now this is in the form of p by q. Hope you understood this rational numbers. Now let's move on to irrational numbers. So what is irrational numbers? Numbers that cannot be written in the form of p by q, where p and q are integers and q not equal to 0. So now let's see some examples of irrational numbers. Examples of irrational numbers are √2, √7, root over 101. These are the examples of irrational numbers. So numbers which can be written in the numbers which are inside the square roots are the examples of irrational numbers, except the perfect square numbers. So what is perfect square numbers? Perfect square numbers are like 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. Why these are the perfect square number? Because square of 1 is 1, in square of 2 is 4, square of 3 is 9, square of 4 is 16, square of 5 is 25. In the same way, square of 6 is 36, square of 7 is 39. So these numbers are called perfect square number. So there should not be perfect square number inside the square root. If there is a perfect square number inside the square root, for example, if there is 16 inside the square root, then this is equal to 4, which is a rational number, not a irrational number. If there is non-perfect square numbers like 17 is a not non-perfect square numbers, so root over 17 is a irrational numbers. Okay, apart from this, pi is also irrational numbers, because the value of pi is 3.14159 dot 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 up to infinity. Values of pi is in the form of like non-terminating, non-recurring numbers. So every non-terminating, non-recurring numbers are irrational numbers. For example, let's see another example: 1.0100100001, like this, in this pattern. The number which are in the form of non-terminating, non-recurring numbers are also called irrational numbers. Okay, hope you understand. Hope you got it. Now let's move on to real numbers. So what are real numbers? Real numbers are the combinations of rational and irrational numbers. Or in other words, we can say that every numbers like natural numbers, whole numbers, integers, rational numbers, irrational numbers are the examples of real numbers. For example, 1, positive number, 0, and negative number like -3, rational numbers like 2 by 3, irrational numbers like root 5. So these are the examples of real numbers. Real numbers may be anything. All natural numbers are real numbers, all whole numbers are real numbers, all rational numbers are real numbers, all irrational numbers are real numbers, all integers are real numbers. So, okay, now I would like to ask some questions on the basis of what we have discussed today. So your question is, state true or false with reason. Question number 1 is, every natural number is a whole number. No, yes, correct. Why? Because 0 is a whole number but not a natural number. Next, question number 2 is, every integers are rational number. Every integers are rational numbers. No, because 1 by 2 is a rational number but not a integer. So what is our third question? Third question is, every real number is a rational number. Is every real number is a rational number? Yes, because real number is the combination of rational number and irrational numbers. So that is why every real number is a rational number. So okay, now note down the homework. Homework question number 1 is 0 a rational number? And question number 2 is, state whether the following statements are true or false. Number 1 is, every integer is a whole number. And question number 2 is, every real number is an irrational number. I hope you have noted down the homework. So this much all for today. Thank you, class.